Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. Yes, I shaved my head. It was time for a buzz cut. It's getting hot in the desert. Need a little air conditioning upstairs. It's been in the mid 90s, so I can only imagine what it's going to be a month from now. It's crazy. We have a lot to get to today. We're going to talk about Greg Carson. We're going to talk about Greg Carson from Cruising with the Carsons. I've gotten a lot of emails, a lot of communications. Folks are curious about my observations from it. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to cover in detail LazyDays earnings call and how it's going to affect the RV industry going forward. And it's probably going to surprise you. But as always, it is Monday and we need to go over recalls. So again, as usual, we're going to go to rvbusiness.com. NHTSA, NHTSA releases its most recent installment of RV recalls. Now, I have not read this up front yet, so bear with me. Olive Travel Trailers, Inc. is recalling certain 2009 to 2024 Elite 2 trailers. The towing coupler may be underrated for the gross vehicle weight rating of the trailer. Dealers will replace the towing coupler free of charge. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed out. They've already done that. Forest River Inc. is recalling 3 2024 Aurora 26BHs. That's not too bad, only 3 of them. The breakaway switch may be incorrectly wired, preventing the breakaway switch from activating the trailer when it detaches from the tow vehicle. Dealer will rewire the breakaway switch free of charge. Notification letters will be mailed out June 19th. So if you, again, another one of those Blue Compass trailers. That's a Blue Compass brand. That is a Coachman problem, not a Forest River. Even though Coachman is under Forest River's umbrella, Coachman is its own separate division. So once again, here we go again. Coachman Catalina is having a problem, but it looks like it's only affecting 3 trailers. That's pretty cool, but not cool at the same time. Forest River is recalling 23 2024-2025 Coachman Nova NAB20C and NAB20D Class B motorhomes. Solar panel may detach from the pop-up roof. The remedy for this recall is currently under development. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed June 29, 2024. So if you own a Coachman Class B motorhome, the Nova specifically, you might want to contact your local dealership and have the VIN number run through Forest River's warranty database to make sure that it is not a part of that recall. 23 is not a huge number, but it's still concerning. I would still do it. We need to talk about this. I'm going to react to this. Coachman RV. Here, I've called for Don Clark's job at Grand Design. I am now calling for Bob Dumb to resign. You have, sir, you ran Freedom Express really well. It is one of the best travel trailer products built, is the Coachman Freedom Express. By the way, the light flashing in the back is the TV. And yes, the clock is stopped. But Bob needs to step down as president of Coachman. They need to get somebody else in there that has better control over quality. You are now talking about Coachman Catalina being the #1 travel trailer brand this year with the most recalls. And that's Catalina/Aurora. Now, it's interesting because that Aurora product is under the Coachman umbrella of building. The Viking travel trailer is under the Coachman Clipper. And it seems to me that every Monday we have a Coachman problem. And it starts at the top, folks. It starts at the top. and it's not getting better. Now, while obviously there is less recalls, by far the least amount of recalls we have read on this podcast, it's just time for Bob Dumb to step down. It really is. I sell Coachman products, okay? I do. And that kind of hurts my relationship with Coachman to say that. But someone has to say, we've had enough. It's been a good product for years. When Turlip ran it, we called him MRT. Yes, it had its problems here and there like anybody else does, but it just seems to get progressively worse. And Coachman is going to lose massive market share if something is not done at the top. Once again, just like with Grand Design RV and this frame failure, no one at Coachman is standing up and saying, hey, sorry, we screwed up on these brands. We're going to take really good care of you. Instead, let's just release a recall through NHTSA and we'll just pretend nothing's wrong. Right? So, and don't get me wrong, for the most part, Coachman RV is a good product. You got the Chaparral, it's a good fifth wheel. You got Coachman Clipper / Viking, that's a good small travel trailer. For the most part, until this year, Coachman Catalina was a premierly built product. But we're seeing a downhill trend, worse than COVID, if you can believe it, in the quality of Catalina / Aurora. And I sell Catalinas. So we're starting to see this trend downward, and it's not a good thing. And that segues me actually into LazyDays, because LazyDays RV is also a Coachman Catalina dealer. They are also a large Grand Design dealer. And if you watched the live stream, if you watched the live stream I did Saturday on the main channel, I'm going to read you just some cliff notes. Pardon me. Ugh. Sorry about that. Ugh. Okay. Let's go down to my notes here. And I'm just going to read the notes, then we're going to get into the earnings call. And then after that, we're going to get into Greg Carson, okay? So this was from some guys that are a part of an investment group. They handle a large portfolio of folks that have stocks, bonds, real estate, etc. They run about a $70 billion portfolio. Okay. It says, the LazyDays earnings call was not bad. It was an absolute catastrophe. Absolute catastrophe. Besides the earnings call release, the earnings call provided so much good information, everything indicates Grand Design units aren't selling. Also adding a link to the call so you can read it, which we'll read here today. How does all of this relate to Grand Design and frame failure? Well, Grand Design is / was LazyDays' largest OEM partner. In 2023, 40% of LazyDays sales, overall sales, stemmed from Grand Design. Separately but related, they are mainly selling used versus new. CEO quote, there is so much demand for used units, in particular, if you can find 2016 to 2020 units, that stuff is liquid gold. This means new units aren't moving, and it also means they are avoiding used COVID units. The CEO even mentions the quality issues in RV manufacturing. In summary, Grand Design was LazyDays' largest OEM partner, and their sales were very shitty. Even on used units, people are avoiding COVID units. Both of these updates can only indicate customers aren't interested in new or used Grand Design rigs. Remember, Camping World doesn't sell Grand Design, and while their earnings were far from great, they were not the complete disaster that LazyDays was. Okay. And then I'm going to read you real quick. There's one more. Una más. Ooh, I got the sniffles today. Whoop, wrong one. Wrong one. Okay. Jeopardy. Okay, we already covered the Grand Design owners. Here we go. 47% of Grand Design, 47.2% of LazyDays new fifth wheel inventory is Grand Design product. Travel trailers is 33%. So basically LazyDays is all in on Grand Design, and there is a benchmark. So there's several other big dealers that are running into this trend, but using LazyDays, it means the RV community has spoken. If Winnebago, Grand Design, all these guys are paying attention, the RV community has spoken. They know you're lying. They know you're having a really tough time being honest. You're half-baked fixing rigs in a lot of cases. I'm not sure about all cases, but folks that come back to me are saying they have to go back to Elkhart again because their frame failed again. So the little half-baked fixes that Grand Design has installed into folks' rigs so far has not worked. So what we're saying is, or what I am saying is the consumers have raised their hands and are going to pull a Bud Light on Grand Design RV. And it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with stupid. You could have gotten way ahead of this. You could have gotten extremely ahead of this. And I have evidence that you're still trying to hide the problem, because we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. So let's read the LazyDays holding. Oh no, I'm not creating an account. Well, I guess I have to. Really? I just want to read the transcript. Oh. Come on. Woohoo. Here we go. Now I get all of these, and by the way, as always, I will put, whether you're listening on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you're getting this podcast, in the description, I'll put all the links so you guys can follow along. Okay. Let's get down to the Q&A. So, LazyDays lost $21 million in a quarter. Their revenue for the quarter, not for the year, for the quarter, is down 8.5%. Which, what does that tell you? It means they're selling a lot less units, and they're not making any money on them. We, along with the rest of the industry, have been working hard to adapt to the current retail environment, namely sales softness coupled with an industry-wide inventory overhang of aging 2022 and 2023 units. To that end, we have been focused on what we can control. First, inventory health. Second, increasing used procurement. Third, driving finance and insurance performance higher. And fourth, controlling cost. I'm pleased to report we've made significant progress in all these areas since we last spoke to you about 60 days ago. Obviously, they have not. This is why they have lost a couple of really good managers at the dealership level. I'm not going to name the names or tell you what stores. That's unfair to LazyDays. That's their own private business. But they have lost a few really, really good managers in this industry because they are not a healthy company. Remember that I was told by all of my sources that LazyDays was on the brink of filing Chapter 11. I would say by this earnings call, losing $21 million, they're a lot closer than what people want to say. But there are rumors out there. There's a lot of rumors out there. There's rumors that all their loans for inventory, their loans for real estate have all been postponed or have been forgiven for 6 months, or they've had 6 months taken and put in the back of these loans so they don't have any bills for the next 6 months, or they don't have to pay on their debts. That's a rumor. I can't tell you whether that's true or not. Could it be? Sure. It would make sense because when you lose that much money as a publicly traded company in one quarter, that's scary. Okay. Fortunately, we have fantastic partners within our OEMs. Well, obviously, LazyDays has the two worst brands by reputation right now in the industry: Coachman Catalina and Grand Design Products. So obviously, they don't have fantastic partners. That's just basically a nudge. A lot of this stuff that they say is just basically trying to make investors not abandon ship. But I'm going to go over that in a minute, okay? Our cash position today is almost unchanged from where we ended up the first quarter and remains almost 20% higher than we were finished third quarter 2023. In summary, our inventory is healthy. No, it's not. We are driving operational improvements and vehicle gross profit per unit continues to improve, but increasing unit volume continues to be elusive. Again, because you're trying to rip everybody's head off. Just like a lot of corporate RV dealerships and corporate RV dealership YouTubers, you try to tell the customer you can get a better deal with you because you can buy in mass bulk and get all these discounts. You're trying to rip everybody's head off. Given the start of the year and our outlook for the rest of the 2024, we are projecting a pre-tax loss but anticipated positive EBITDA and adjusted free cash flow. Now, I'm going to tell you the conversations I've had with financial guys in Wall Street over the last 3 days have told me that is hypergamy. Hypergamy, whatever that name. You can correct me later, guys. That's a pipe dream. It might be okay today, but where they're projected to be by the end of the year is possibly out of business. I don't know if that's true or not. They could be hostilely taken over. We don't know what's going to happen. All we know is $21 million loss. All we know is they carry almost half of their fifth wheel inventory may or may not sell because of brand reputation. Because Grand Design's reputation amongst the RV community has absolutely took a crap, right? Okay. All right, let's go down to Q&A. I want to get down to the Q&A. Oh, by the way, new unit sales declined 11.1% in one quarter. That gross profit per unit declined 75%. As a result of our aggressive discounting. Used retail unit sales decreased 4.6%. So used is actually decreasing for them. And gross profit per used unit is decreased 51.4%. So they're buying used inventory, but they're not making money. So let's put this in a box for everybody, okay? Dealerships have to make money, period. The dealership I work for has to make money. If it doesn't make money, we shut the doors. If we don't make a profit, the owner loses his houses. The owner loses his cars. The owner loses his life and has to start all over. So we have to make money as a dealership, as a business, okay? But it's how we make money and how we look at the percentages. A small dealership, front and back, meaning on the selling price of the unit plus any financial profit that may come, that's extended warranties, gap, the finance company giving us a little money, whatever that may be, has to add up right around 9%. A 9% profit margin after cost, meaning after you put a battery and propane and all that stuff in it, that right there is the sweet spot where an owner can take home, let's call it $100 a trailer, $200 a fifth wheel, $300 a motorhome. Now, that's in a perfect world. That's in an absolute perfect world. Now, obviously, some products that are higher end are going to bring more profit. And then the really tiny, small little units bring a lot less profit. So what I'm talking about is an overall combination. 9% for a mom and pop shop is normal. Now, when I worked for big dealerships, you have to be around 26 to 28% to make money. This is why I keep saying to corporate RV dealership YouTubers that don't go tell people that they can get a better deal with you because you're a bigger dealer. You're a bigger dealer, you have to make more money per copy because your overhead is higher. And service and parts is a losing opportunity. If this was the car business, I would agree. AutoNation, of course you can get a better deal with AutoNation. They make the majority of their money in service and parts. That's where the profit is in the car industry. Here it's all in sales. So if you're not making money on the sale of an RV, you're in deep trouble. Now, this is the problem with a big company like this. This is where I have a lot of respect for Marcus Lemonis. I know a lot of you guys don't like him, but hear me out for a second. This is why I have respect for him. He already decided to start burning through cash and getting rid of 2022 inventory late in 2022. While the other corporate RV dealerships didn't want to do it because either one, they'd have to go to their investors and try to explain themselves, or number two, stubbornness by pay plan. Okay? Marcus Lemonis always takes care of his sales guys in a lot of respect. If you go to most camping worlds, they may not be the typical RV salesperson that's been in the industry 30-something years. But I'll give you an example. If you go to Vacaville, California, and you go to that store, their manager, Eddie, if he's still working there, a lot of their salespeople there, they've been there a long time. Why? Because they make a decent living. It's set up for them to make a decent living even when Camping World was taking and hemorrhaging money to get rid of inventory. That's the mindset difference, right? This is the mindset difference between someone at this level and someone at the Lemonis level. This is the difference between a company like Blue Compass and a company like Camping World. This is the difference between a Blue Compass and like a Funtown RV. How things are run and the mindset of where are we going to be next year if we don't do A, B, C, and D. Like if I were in LazyDays shoes, I would relook and go, wow, we really depend on Grand Design and they're in the tank. Who can we put in place of them to try to recapture some market share? Not get rid of them, not dump them, because eventually, guys, I know a lot of you don't believe me. I know a lot of you think they're going to close their doors, but eventually Grand Design will pull their head out of their butt. Okay, and it will get better. It's not going to be this year, it ain't going to be next year, but maybe 5 or 6 years from now, it'll make a comeback. Okay, but the reality is is you need to get market share now. Forest River, Keystone, all these other companies, Arctic Fox, Northwood Manufacturing. You have all these options to bring into your dealership. If you are a Grand Design dealership and you are heavily dependent on Grand Design sales, you need to rethink your strategy. I'm not telling you dump them because you never will, but you may want to consider cutting back your inventory on them so that way you can make it through this bad economy. Because the combination of bad quality, bad customer service, and a bad economy is a recipe for disaster if you're all in on one product. Look at these guys that are a Brinkley exclusive dealer. Woo, baby! You have got to be kidding me. That's just silliness. Absolute silliness. All right, we'll skip the Q&A because I think I made my point. Let's move on to Greg Carson. That's Cruising with the Carsons. So I got a text message. Greg went and bought a KZ Durango. And he deleted all his videos that he put up. I told you so. Everybody was bugging me. Go contact this guy. Go help him out. I told you so. It's just like with anything. It's just like the same thing I say about the folks that own Brinkley or started Brinkley. The majority of them, if you look at their past history from the mid-90s until today, they have a history. And all you have to do is look at somebody's past and you'll know what they're going to do in the future. Greg already proved that he is an excellent social media presence, and he has proven that he has a recipe and an instruction booklet on how to get a company to buy out a fifth wheel you don't like or that you're having problems with. I don't have a problem with him getting out of his reflection. No problem. I have absolutely zero issue with that. What I have an issue with is you made a promise. You made a promise to the entire public that you would never take your videos down again. You lied. Once again. Your integrity is zero. Period. I'm happy for you, but you lied to the community. You sold out. There are a lot of people that have contacted me that have told me that they got exactly what they were looking for in their buyout and didn't have to remove their videos. What it tells me is you went and took advice from an attorney who's a complete moron. I'm not going to name the person, but I'll just say he stuck his nose into an industry he knows nothing about for clout to try to make a quick buck. And that's okay. I'm good with capitalism. I'm good with people making money. But make some money with integrity. That's all I have to say. This is why I didn't contact him. This is why I didn't want to get involved in anything. This is why reality, guys, this is why I don't want to be called for lawsuits. Don't want to be called about this. Don't want to be called about that. Look, information and me giving out information is what I'm going to do because somebody's got to keep it going. If I start digging in and having to go talk to attorneys that want to talk to me because, well, you know, we're going to have this big old lawsuit and we're going to go after Grand Design and we're going to go after Winnebago. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for that. I'm here to educate everybody in the community so they know what they're getting themselves into. if they still, after everything on the internet, and they still want to go buy a Momentum or a Solitude or Reflection from Grand Design, or a Keystone Montana High Country from Keystone, or a Keystone Arcadia or Keystone Alpine, they at least have the education and know that there may be this problem. I've told you, if you want to hurt Grand Design, you got to hurt their pocketbook. It looks like the community has started to do that. Excellent. Now, what I will say at the end of the day is leave Greg alone. Just leave him alone. Unsubscribe from his channel and leave the man alone. He's been through enough. Okay? That's why I leave him alone. I sent him one email response. I gave him some shout outs here on the podcast. That's as far as I'm going to take it. We don't need to beat him up. We don't need to go and beat up what he said and what he did. We all know his integrity amongst the community is zero. Because the promise he made, he broke it. But he's his own man. He can make his own decisions in life. If that's what him and his wife decided, I'm going to talk about it one time. And that's on this episode, and I'm going to forget he even exists. I'm going to forget everything that happened. Because the reality is it's his decision, it's his life, his money, his reputation, his decision. And I don't get involved in other men's decisions. There's a lot of people out there, well, not a lot, I would say there's 5 other people out there that I won't talk to. Because they went and bought another Grand Design product, and 4 of the 5 others have contacted me again going, oh my God, it's falling apart. Not my problem. And not to say that in a mean way. It's not meant to be mean. It's meant to say, your integrity is zero with me. Just like my integrity is zero with most dealerships across the United States. Why? Because I expose too much stuff. When it comes to the education of RV loans, the education of product, this podcast, they think I give away too much. That they can't make any money because I give away all the secrets. Well, from my perspective, if a customer walks in with knowledge and comfort, they're going to feel a lot better about buying a product. That's what I think. And you can make more money off folks that feel educated and comfortable than you can a person that has no clue what's going on. They can walk away from giving the dealership money and go home at night and go, wow, we made a really good and smart and educated decision. Not, oh my God, what do? We just gave them $20,000 of our hard-earned money, and then they can't sleep at night. Which one do you think you can make more money with? Which one do you think is going to be a happier customer and an easier customer to sell? The educated one. The one that already has a pretty good idea of what they're looking at when they walk into the doors. That's powerful. And as a dealership, if you feel that I'm a jerk because I give away our trade secrets, there's a mirror in your bathroom. You need to have a conversation with the person that you're looking at in that mirror. And that's all I have to say about that. But once again, I'll say it one more time. Don't give Greg Carson a hard time. Please. Let's move on with the world. There's going to be a lot more stuff to come up the rest of the year. We don't need to beat a dead horse. We really don't. He'll ride into the sunset and do his thing. And that's between him, his family, and I'm a Christian, so you'll have to excuse me saying this, but this is between him, his family, and God. And no one else can tell him what to do because he's his own man. So until next time, have a good night.